Welcome to Caching Waves. This is a quick Elliott Wave update for Bitcoin. Now, going off yesterday's chart, it's changed a little bit. We had this as a leading diagonal originally, like so. We were expecting a correction down between the 50 and the 618, in which case making our C wave. But we ended up getting a extension, and this is how in real time the waves can change. I've updated a couple of videos today about this exact scenario happening, and I'll go down to the 15-minute in a moment and show you that. But just since the high of Bitcoin, we had a very complex correction to the downside. It was very tough to track if you're following along. Biggest issue was this area here, which ended up being a triangle, in which case we reversed and we're completing a impulse to the upside. So we've crossed through this reverse trend line I have here from our W off our Y up off our high. We're inching through that right now, which is a good sign, and looking for a tiny 4-5 to complete our A wave. And then I'll readjust these pivots and we'll be looking for a correction to the downside, holding this fourth wave area. As you can see, we're also coming to between the 50 and the 618 of this move to the downside, which is where we're expecting our pivot. So we want to see between a 50 and a 618 here as a rejection, and hold a 50 and a 618 of this move to the upside, and then move up for our C wave. Let's go down to the smaller time frames, take a look. So I was watching this in real time. I actually just talked about this on ICP, I think, and we're expecting this move and had this as a diagonal. But what ended up happening is I had to relabel this as a triangle as originally labeled, and then this becomes 5 waves, and then we have a flat, and we're looking to complete 5, and that completes our 5-wave structure. This is how in real time you have to analyze these things. I saw it at this area. I didn't take that trade. I should have, but you can see we had a move to the upside and a sideways consolidation. And I mentioned this entry before. When I see something like this, the way I usually take the entry is above the B wave, treating this just more as information as a scalp. I wait for the market to trigger me in as a trigger order, and my stop goes at the previous C wave low if this is an ABC. And then I'd just be targeting up here. But it's more of a scalp. You're only in there for a couple hours, but it was available there, as you can see. This was a tough flat to see coming until we got this right here. So where are we now? Looking for this to finish very soon. See where we are for our fibs on the smaller time frame. We hit the 1.618 for our 5th in the 5th. As you can see, fibs work on every time frame. We got our 1, 2, 3 at the 1.618. We're either working on the 5th or still in the 4th as a flat, looking for that 5th wave between the 200 and the 2.382, or just above this 3rd wave high. So Bitcoin's holding up nicely. I will readjust these pivots once the 5th wave is in to look for an entry to the upside. And this is either a wave in an ABC to the upside, most likely, or a wave 1 and a 2 if this ends up being a 4th wave in a larger 5-wave impulse on the upper time frames. I'm not going to get into that right now, though. So these are one of my favorite trades when they work out, because in the scenario where this is a wave 1 and a 2 and we're actually going to all-time highs, or if this is an A or a B, the next wave is usually the same direction, right? It just depends where you take your profits. So one of the best trade setups you can find is when 2 counts line up. And if this count is correct, you have to make your own judgment on that, then it's the ideal setup. So that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, the count falls apart if we break this low here at around, let me get the exact count for you. Well, this is on Binance. You'll have to check your own exchange, but need to hold 38,555 on Binance. So the way I'm looking to trade this is whenever it's done, pull the pivots. I'll be buying the 382.50 and the 618. Stop will go probably below this support level, the wave 2, the low of the wave 2, and I'll be looking to either be targeting the 1-to-1, depending how impulsive the next wave looks. Won't know until the pivot's in, and then I can get hone in on the targets. All right, guys, that's it for Bitcoin. Thanks for watching. I'll make sure to update this tomorrow because we should get that retracement, and I'll catch you on the next one.